So thank you everybody for taking time out on your Sunday to join us for this call. I'm going to start us off with a prayer, and I'm sure others will be joining us as we get started here. So closing my eyes and placing my hands on my heart. Taking that deep breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this time to come together with this beautiful team of people that are dedicated and devoted to doing this healing work for themselves and sharing it with others in this ministry. We're so grateful for Jennifer and bless her and thank her for the opportunity for us to learn how to live A Course in Miracles and the teachings that she has shared with us. We're so grateful to be willing to open those blocks to love and let them free so that we can shine and be the light in the world that we were meant to be. We're grateful for all of the earthly and heavenly helpers that are assisting us now during this call and as we go through our days. We ask that they continue to bless us, to guide us, in giving us ease and grace in everything that we do in our lives. And we're grateful that we get to share the benefits of the healing work that we are doing for ourselves and for the world with everyone because we are one. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. So I want to thank everybody for being here, taking some time out in their Sunday. And my intention is that this will not be a very long meeting, but I would like to share a few details and then ask some folks to share their experience. So those that are here that may have not facilitated before can get an idea of what it's like and how people feel about it and how they've benefited from it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I just wanted to insert my little speech here. It's to say that your role as a facilitator is so important to our ministry. And it's hard for us to really extend out to all members and make sure they're doing okay, make sure they feel supported, make sure they understand what's going on. And by having you two, it's like big brother and big sister, it really helps us extend out the love, care, and support to people on a much smaller, intimate level. So to me, it's such an important job that you have. Not to give you more pressure, but to let you know that it's so important to the quality of their experience. And yeah, I just wanted to say I'm grateful all of you are saying maybe at this point. So I like that little speech. It's important to me.
Amen.
But when Linda and I are given a list of 125 people to call and say, please check on them, it's overwhelming when we have other things going on. But if you are all checking on your 6 or 8 people, and if all of you are doing that, then we can do other things and they get better care, and we're not the only face of the ministry. So I just wanted to add that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I forgot all about that. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay.
I wanted to add one more thing.
Please.
I started facilitating my 2nd year, and I didn't feel confident in my abilities. And I know, Angela, remember how anxious and stressed out I used to be with all the seeing technology, and it's really changed a lot since then. It's a lot easier, I think. But if you doubt yourself, if you think you can't do it, if something's telling you in your head it's not possible, or it's it that I know I did it, and I was very anxious and stressed out initially too. It's the doing of it which causes less stress. It's not the waiting to figure it out. Like in like if people who had kids became parents, if they all waited until they were like the perfect parent before they had their kids, they may have never had their kids. You may have never been born. So, yeah, so you cannot fail. You cannot fail. This ministry is really not everything. Life is supporting you, but we are all supporting you. So anybody who's even interested in trying it, you know, whatever you choose. If you choose not to, that's okay too. There's no judgment ever, ever. So, I don't know. I just want to say that it's, in God, all things are possible. So,
Thank you, Carla. Yes, absolutely. Everything she said, absolutely, 100%. All right. I did not get to facilitate a mastery circle this year. So I asked my friend Jenny, who I got to mentor facilitating a freedom circle this year, to join us so that she could talk about her experience facilitating for the first time and how she feels about it now. So Jenny, would you feel okay sharing that?
Yeah, I'd love
Thank
to.
you.
I think my voice might be a bit funny. I have a cold, so excuse me if I'm a bit croaky. Yeah, so what Carla was saying really resonated with me. I felt very anxious and nervous and thinking, oh, it triggered before I'd even started the group. It had triggered my stuff. So like thoughts like, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. What if I'm nervous? It'll look like incompetence if I'm nervous. What if I make a mistake? What if I don't know what to say? What if someone gets hurt? Like all of these thoughts were coming up, and it was so helpful to remember. Jennifer often talks about this, that it's our opportunity as facilitators to heal our minds. And so I just kept thinking about that, because once I started seeing all these fears, I was thinking, actually people in the group possibly have those fears about coming to the group, and what will I say, or what if I say something wrong? What if I offend somebody? These were kind of the things that were going on for me. And I found it that, as I settled into it, I started to learn that all I needed to do, because Spirit had an answer for every one of those fears. It was like, you don't have to do it, I'll do it. You just show up. I don't know how to do it. Well, I know how to do it, so it's okay. What if I say something wrong? Everyone, you can choose again in any moment. And it was such a beautiful experience to feel held actually by Spirit in facilitating that, I wasn't actually doing it, in the sense of, it's not about me, it's about letting Spirit hold a space. And then I guess the other part that I found was that people would keep bringing up the things that I was challenged with in my own life. And so getting to, hold a space for them was almost like I was learning how to hold a space for myself with those same things. So it's easier to see perfection in other people. And even in the call, in facilitating, sometimes I would think, because I might feel anxious, I was conscious not to jump in. So to try, just to soothe myself and just allow the call to unfold as it unfolds. And sometimes people will speak over each other, or sometimes things will happen, but there's almost every call is different, but there's a perfection in it that I learned to trust, that, sometimes one person might talk more than another, and, other people won't share, but they just don't have anything to share that week. And, the next week they might have something to share. And it just, there's a balance and an ebb and a flow that seems to happen, which I learned to just allow. And that felt like me learning how to trust that it will unfold perfectly. And I also, one of the things I was nervous about was, well, I don't know what my style is. So there's kind of these topics, and then there's, the community call style, which is open-ended, and like how, and everyone who I facilitate with facilitates differently. And I know Angela said to me, she's like, I like to challenge myself to see if I can put back to the group to try and facilitate their sharing between each other, more so than me answering questions. Because sometimes people will say, oh, I was reading this, or I heard this in the class and I was looking for suggestions, and and just be able to put it back and go, well, does anybody else have that kind of question, or has anyone discovered something for themselves around what so and so is asking? And it's such a great way to learn how to be how to connect people, really, in a way. And that was, I really enjoy that part of kind of challenging myself to learn how to keep holding space and shift things, and just create more space over here. Does anyone have anything else to add, or would they like to share something different? All of these kind of learning to, Spirit's teaching me, I suppose, different facilitation skills. So I love it. And at the beginning I was probably holding my breath a little bit, and after the first few and settling in a little bit more, I just come off so excited that Spirit's moving in everybody all the time, and that I get to be a part of that is such a joyful experience. And I feel like my mind's definitely healing. And when people have, another fear I would have been around, when someone's going through a really intense experience, and it can be quite emotional. And sometimes it's hard then for other participants. And particularly, I know when I came into Masterful Living at the beginning, I'm just finishing my third year. I'd never been part of any groups like that before, so I didn't know what to expect. And I would get really triggered by people sharing their things that were going on, because they were probably just triggering mine, but I was being triggered so much I wasn't as aware as I am now. And so, that kind of has come up in our group, and just being able to hold and knowing, like we get a chance to kind of know for somebody else that they can do it, that Spirit's in them, that they are strong enough, that we can just hold this space that's loving and kind, compassionate, but it doesn't allow, we don't want to fuel into any stories that aren't going to benefit them. I think that's been really helpful as well, to learn how to kind of be strong in my own energy, that I don't get pulled into someone's difficulty and start to see them as suffering or struggling, or that's been a really useful way of strengthening my own spiritual practice too. So I hope that's helpful.
Beautiful, Jenny. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm also going to call out Philip, if I can unmute him. Oh, where did you go? There you are. All right. Are you there, Philip?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was calling on you because you're not in class. So
just feedback. I was my phone's mute and non-mute wasn't working when you must have had me muted on your end. But anyway, because it wasn't until you anyway. Well, first of all, I've heard Penny, who was in my group this year, and Penny, I hope you sign up. I'm sure you will. You'd be great, as will anyone in that group, or probably every group. My share is that, as I tell my group, and as I've told my group in the past 2 years, is I do this selfishly. I get so much out of it. I'm not a master for living. I went 3 years in a row after finding freedom, so it was my way to keep up with the energy and keep up with the healing work, and it's been fantastic. I really like the check-in calls, which I'm not sure doesn't seem like everyone does them, but I find so much benefit when I call the people in my group, because I find them you know, they're just an inspiration. And they're also not only an inspiration, they're a motivation. So that's my share, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Philip. Yeah, the check-in calls I found when I facilitated, not this year, but the year before, were awesome. And me and my co-facilitator did is we split our group. I believe there were 6 or 7 of us, so we each had 3 or 4 people, and we would meet with them once a month and just call them up and say, how are you doing? How are you doing with the class? How are you doing with your prayer partner? How are you doing with your workbook? Do you have any questions? Tell me how you're feeling. Do you have any challenges with anybody in your circle? Do you have any challenges with anybody in your class? You know, have you created any extra, you know, any bonds with folks in your circle, in your class that you'd like to talk about? Just how are you doing? And I still talk to some of those people. You know, I still meet with them a few times a year and say, how you doing? You know, I haven't heard from you in a little while, and I just would really, you know, you'll find that these people, at least for me, they become your friends, they become your family. They're an extension of the love that you give and the love that you receive. And yeah, it's just your family, your friends, your church, your community. You feel close to them. And I've always found for myself that those check-ins, one-on-one check-ins, were very helpful to see how folks were doing.